It's crime time. We've got a few videos lined up. The first one is when a Snapchat gangster messes with the wrong guy. I've never really heard of the Snapchat gangster, but I guess we're gonna find out. In case you're not aware, I have a criminology degree. We watch true crime a lot. I give advice. We do things. Let's watch, man.
This is 18-year-old Aaron Lawson. On October 22nd, 2020,
Think of the 23 months,
Aaron
by the way.
fired his handgun at 18-year-old Jennifer Broxson and her friend Allison DeJanes.
Oh.
Both teenagers were hospitalized for their gunshot wounds, and Aaron was brought in for interrogation. Before the interview begins, the detective removes Aaron's handcuffs and then leaves the door partly open, hoping to make him feel more relaxed. While the detective waits for his partner, he engages in small talk with the suspect.
What's your tattoo of?
This is from a mom and this is from a dad.
Got a
Rum?
one right here. It's matching with my dad.
Is your dad still alive?
Oh yeah. He just turned 49 actually a few days
I'll
ago.
be 43 in 10 days.
You look good for 43.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if that's a come on or what, but
A
so
what?
once my partner gets here, I'll give you some more water. You hungry or anything?
No, I right before I met those people.
Okay. Well, again, like I told you there at the Waffle House, you're going to have your chance to explain.
They added a disclaimer in the description that diagnoses are just assumptions on this.
Your side of the story.
Yes, sir.
We're going to try to do everything we can to make you
I
comfortable.
think I might be.
Well, a lot more comfortable now than
Well,
plastic.
this
Well,
wasn't
man,
even. This isn't
those
even the
things are
channel I have beef
uncomfortable.
with.
Sure, that's definitely the truth.
This is my partner, Mitchell Kelly. Mitchell, Aaron Mitchell. Hey, if you don't mind, can I step out and use the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, we're good on there, we're good on here.
Yeah, I mean, how much?
The detective
Nothing
begins
is true
by
anymore,
reading
man.
Aaron his rights, and he makes sure that he understands them. All the detectives know at this point is what Aaron has told them when he was arrested. Aaron claimed that he had met the two females on Snapchat, and they decided to meet up earlier that day. When
Whoa.
Aaron met up with the women, they attacked him, and his only option was to use his father's handgun to defend himself.
Take your time.
Don't interrupt,
It's
Pikmin.
been a long night. Start from
Bro just
the beginning
interrupted
of the
like
day,
that.
Kind of just start walking me through kind of how we led to here.
Okay. So, I think the story really starts about a day.
Did I scare these criminal psychology channels? Did that other one get so upset that other ones heard of it and they were like, uh-oh? Surely not, right? It's probably not just me. It's probably more like everybody's like, hey, maybe don't assume things of people. They're taking precautions like crazy now, bro. Oops. I don't think it's only me, but I certainly helped point it out. Oops.
Ago, roughly 24 hours.
Maybe don't just say shit that sounds interesting. Maybe have actual knowledge.
So hours. So the woman
Save you
with
lots
the
of trouble.
face tattoo. Her and I met on Snapchat.
Face
I
tattoo.
forget exactly how. It's been a while, but
What's her name?
I couldn't tell you honestly. She has a.
I don't think her name's
on
Pikmin, but
Snapchat, and it was Deadly Baddie.
Say it how again?
Deadly Baddie.
her name is Deadly Baddie on Snapchat. Oh my god, bro. This is not real.
B-A...
DD.
You spelling baddie for this guy? This
So,
43-year-old's like,
I forget if it
the
was
fuck?
exactly I met her off of the quick ad feature on there, or if it was from a mention on someone else's story.
That is so funny,
But
dude.
regardless, we met. She posted something on her story. I slid up and we got to talking.
Slid
and
up?
She asked me to hang out. I agreed,
He's talking so
and
professionally and
she
using this slang that's
really tried to
killing
get to
me.
hang out with her yesterday.
What was y'all's conversation about?
Dick.
Well, really, she just wanted to hang out. She said she was bored, and I was like, I am as well. So
Yeah.
we could do something. She wanted to go to Pensacola. I don't exactly know where. She said by
Me describing how I met my wife to my parents without mentioning any sort of relationship in a sexual manner ever at all. It's just, you know, we just talked and stuff.
Water. So, like I said, she pushed very hard for me to hang out with her. I declined that night. I said we could probably do something tomorrow. She said that sounds good.
She called me a bitch, and then I showed up.
So today, earlier in the morning, we were making plans to hang out tonight, and
why does he talk like this?
she didn't respond for a few hours, and sorry, my time frame's a little messed up because I'm an hour ahead.
You're fine.
What?
I want to say about 11 or 10.
Did he travel time
This
zones
time,
for some
I went over to
Some
a
booty?
friend's house who I had also just met off of Tinder. That was more of a hookup situation, and
nobody cares.
so I left there.
Why bring it up? That's so
about
irrelevant.
12.
Yeah, I have
Well,
sex on
who's that
women.
person?
Like I said, we had literally just met, so I want to say her name's Sadie.
Bro just doesn't even know names of people.
Anyways, I left there, and the woman with the face tattoo texted me and said, "Hey, I'm heading back from the beach. If you want to hang out, we still can." And I said, "Yeah, sure, sounds good." So she got back from the beach, and she was like, "Hey," or she was like, "Where are you at?" I said, "I am by Whataburger, McDonald's, and Chick-fil-A by the Walmart." I don't normally visit Pace, but that's the some rough estimate of the location. So she was like, "Oh, could you grab me food?" And so I agreed. I bought her a number 15 with ranch and
I bought her a number 15. Of all fucking meals, it has to be number 15. Are you kidding me?
I have the receipt in my
That's crazy.
driver's door.
Oh god, my face hurts
And,
already. Woo!
So I also got
I was not expecting that.
I want to say taquito with bacon and
Okay, relax.
so Coke as well. And so I got the food. She said, "All right, I'm almost home.
Wow.
I'll text you whenever I get here."
That really got me, man.
I said, "All right, that sounds good." She said she, again, was coming back from Pensacola Beach. And roughly 15 minutes later, she texted me and said,
This
"Hey,
is Florida?
I'm ready for you to come pick me up." She sent me the street that she was on. It was about 7 minutes away from her. I drove to her. She said, "Hey, is it cool if my friend comes along?" That was the lady in the yellow hoodie. I don't know her name at all.
Let me pump the brakes for a second. You keep
Does
saying
not-
woman, you keep saying lady. Do you know how old these women are at this point?
No.
Okay.
He doesn't even know their names, yet he can describe everything about them and also the order that he picked up for them. What the fuck?
Looking at their pictures, could you take a guess at how old they are?
No.
Okay.
I
They look like
added her on
adults?
Snapchat. Her name was
Okay.
Deadly Baddie.
So, like I said, I continued on, and they both got in the back seat. The lady in the yellow hoodie sat in the if you're looking towards the back of the vehicle, the back right hand side, and the lady with the face tattoo behind me. I said, "Where to?" They told me to go to the boat dock. I didn't know where that was. They gave me directions exactly where to go. Throughout the ride, they made numerous comments on, "Oh, wow, this is a really nice car. What year is it? What make is it? What model? All that good jazz." And at the time, I didn't think too much of it because that's a common
All that good
comment I get
jazz.
whenever I'm, meeting people. And so I drive to the boat dock. I park there. I get out of the car, walk over here with them.
Did you pull around like you was facing to drive out, or pull in?
I pulled in front of the cars facing.
What is this guy's
Okay.
like syntax, bro? He talks so
we look it out.
strange.
We go to the little pier, and
Good
we just hang
jazz.
out for a little bit. We're on our phones talking a little
Hang
bit.
out.
They're asking what I'm like, questions about me, similar like, where do I go to school? How old am I and stuff like that.
I don't really think that was asked, but okay.
So eventually, my pain in my foot gets too much. And
Pain in
I
your
need to
foot?
go
What pain in
to
your
the
foot?
ER. So I say, hey,
I think that was very.
I need to go to the ER now. I'm sorry to cut it so short.
I've got a boo boo. We can't have sex.
yeah.
I have a
Were
boo
you- Were
boo.
you saying that as an excuse, or were you saying
I
because it was really
truthfully was uncomfortable, mainly because they kept inquiring about my car, and honestly, whenever so we get in the car, I pull out back onto the highway, and I get maybe 30 seconds, like if I had to take a rough estimate, a third of a mile out. And then the girl with the face tattoo says, hey, I left my jewel charger, which, I was like, okay, I'll head back and grab it. She said she lived by the gazebo.
It's not even that
So
funny.
I
It
pulled in the
shouldn't be.
same, in a similar manner, more like this though, not completely in, more I don't know how to say it, at a diagonal angle to the gazebo. And
There's a gazebo now?
it's at this point that I'm like, okay, you can
Is
go
he
get
the
your
victim or
charger,
the perpetrator?
and
I don't really know
they're
yet.
like, okay,
I
we
think
need
he's
to
the
review.
perp.
They say
He's definitely
quote,
talking
unquote,
like
"We
he's the
run a
victim,
business."
so I'm interested in how this plays
And
out.
at
The
that point,
title's
my heart
basically
sinks
implying he's
because
the perpetrator.
I felt very uncomfortable at that point. I felt like what eventually did happen was about to happen. They told me that the girl in the yellow hoodie had a gun. They said it was a Glock 17.
Is this girl face tattoo or not?
No, not face
Okay.
tattoo. So she said she had a gun and that I needed to get out of the car, and I
Stares at camera.
was scared, so I did. I took the keys out of the ignition, and she said, "Nope, leave the keys." And at that point, I was 100% sure that they were going to take my car. So they say, "Listen, back up."
So then I started
and
blasting.
We're going to be taking your car. I don't protest at that point because they say they have the gun. I go sit down at the bench, which is right about here. So they back up, pull out,
He's making a
back
novel,
up,
bro.
pull out that way.
Pull up,
So the
back
car is
out,
facing
pull up, back out.
This. I get on my phone to call you guys, and the face tattoo lady gets out and she puts her hand out and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna need your phone now. You can text your dad and you can send him your location, but we are taking your phone as well." And actually,
That was
I
drawing a
forgot.
line.
Whenever the car was still here and I was getting out, I asked the face tattoo lady if I could grab something from my vehicle because I have.
You think this lack of info is
things
him
in there
avoiding
to
his
me,
crime? Probably.
like the gun, and I was concerned. that
It depends on if the
getting
girls are already
another
picked up or
weapon
not.
Would be overall bad for.
Which it sounds like it
Anyways,
is.
I asked if I could grab
They're not
something
picked
from
up
the vehicle.
because
They say no,
he
get out.
called them.
Go away. I go
So
here.
also-
get on my phone.
how do interrogators handle people who are non/semi-verbal? They'll try to just like ask questions anyway, but it gets to a point where there is clearly like no compliance. So they end up just kind of like ending it. It's very nuanced because it's not like they won't try to talk to them, but the police also like might not depends on what you mean as well. Like, I don't know if you mean just like non-cooperative or just straight up like somebody who like doesn't verbalize in general. Someone who just can't talk for whatever reason. Well, that would depend, because like maybe I'm sure they have, I think most places have somebody who knows like ASL. So like if they were to have to like talk to them through sign language, they'd have somebody. But like, I'm going to unfortunately tell you that most of the time the police probably don't care. So it's very likely that it's like they'll try to talk to them. If they don't cooperate, the police will either continue to talk to them or just move on and assume the worst or find a solution. But I wouldn't anticipate them to do that often. I don't know. It's very nuanced. It's like they'll try to talk to that person by any means, but if there's clearly like an issue with them talking, whether like intrinsically or extrinsically, like to the police, they're going to want to not. Like the police aren't going to love that, and they'll probably try to do like talk anyway. But I don't know. The thing is it's probably different depending on the district and the area of stuff like that. Because some places, like admittedly, are probably better at it than others, because they've put things into place to accommodate to that sort of like interrogation or anything like that, because they've maybe ran into it before.
With the face tattoo goes to try and take my phone. At that point, I don't know.
So what confuses me here is, so he shot his dad's gun at them. So at what point, and I'm assuming this is about to happen, why did he decide when they were going after his phone to take his gun out and shoot? If I'm the officer here, that doesn't make sense. If they say that they have a gun and to get out of the car, wouldn't he have just been like, no, you get out of the car? You know what I mean? Why would he wait to get out of the car and until they're trying to grab his phone to do it? That's just a stupid, it's a terrible lie.
I don't know what happened, but I decided that I needed to fight for my property, and I did not want
your phone
to be a victim of this crime. So
he's talking about it in such a professional manner that like it just doesn't sound convincing, because he's being so like, I do not want to be a victim of this crime. It's like, dude, they were trying to rob you. I think it's okay to have a little passion in your voice, but I don't think he's selling it very well at all. He is just
in a fist fight with the girl with the face.
Example A. I engaged in a fist fight with the woman. What?
Tattoo. The girl in the yellow hoodie
Nobody
gets out of the
talks
car
like this.
and yells, pepper spray him, close your eyes and pepper spray him. So at that point, I cover my eyes, I turn away, and I start running for my car. The girl in the yellow hoodie was closing the door. I put myself between the door and the car. I got on top of the girl in the yellow hoodie, and she was screaming, "Get the gun, get the gun." So at that point, I started strangling her because she was also fighting me and threatening me.
I don't feel like that's going to
lethal
stop
force.
the gun, but...
So, the lady with the face tattoo comes up behind me and starts tasing me. I get a break.
Where'd she tase you at?
My back. I don't know. I think it right about here. The lady with the face tattoo moves back over here and moves to me.
Your
Gets
memory
the
is
taser, starts
remembering
tasing
a
me.
lot of random
I don't
details.
know what exactly happened, but there was a break in them doing things to me. So I reached in the glove compartment, which my dad also keeps a collapsible baton in. I extend it and I start hitting the girls who are attacking me. I get out of the car because
Where do you think you hit him?
the head.
In the head?
Yeah.
That's where you're aiming?
Yeah.
Like at the head? Okay.
So the girl in the yellow hoodie says, "Get the gun, get the gun, get the gun," and the girl with the face tattoo turns around and starts heading for the passenger, right over here, the back right passenger side, if you're looking at the back of the car. So at this point, that's where I believe the gun is, because that's where the woman in the yellow hoodie was sitting. And she got up out of the car, got up from her seat, hopped over to the driver's seat over the storage compartment, which is how she got a controlled vehicle originally.
My God,
so
bro.
I believe it fell out of her, hoodie or wherever she had it, and that the lady with the face tattoo was coming to get it.
So elaborate.
At this point, I hit her a little bit, and while she turns around, runs away, and at this point, I go into my dad has an RFID chip, a key, and a code for the safe.
You mean the gun safe?
Yes, sir.
The gun safe
I rip
in
off
the car?
RFID chip from the keychain. I unlock the safe. I grab the gun, rack it because it was not hot, it was not chambered. I rack it and I make it known that I have a gun and that they are not to enter my vehicle anymore and that they need to back off.
I mean, he's just straight up lying, right? Like, nobody talks like this. You are no longer able to enter my vehicle.
The girl
I have a gun.
in the yellow hoodie keeps saying that she needs to grab her shoes and her phone. So, I felt that this was just her saying that in order to get in the vehicle to grab the gun, which I believe is in the back right passenger side if you're looking at the back of the vehicle. I tell them numerous times, no, I will shoot you if you enter the vehicle. I'm so sorry. I'm stressed.
No, you're good, buddy.
So she ends up opening the door, bolts for the passenger side, and then I take aim, I fire at her through the windshield. I don't
No, let's slow down. Through the windshield or through another window?
So the window right here. I'm sorry, terminology.
No, you're fine. We're just.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're getting to the point to where what we see on scene versus what you're telling us. We need to make sure you're telling us the exact truth.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I fire at her, who she's what I assume diving for the gun, which that they claim to have.
What did you see her do?
I tinted windows, so.
Because they're saying you talk like this? Okay, but what I'm saying is he's like describing his crime. Now, would you guys imagine in a police interview using this type of language if you were the victim of a crime? I'm not saying it's foolproof, and in fact, we've seen plenty of times that people talk differently than others, and that's totally fine. But like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it without like sounding rude. It's not the speech pattern, chat. It's not his speech pattern. It's like the pace and the language he's using to clearly not incriminate himself in the situation. It's not like saying something that happened to you today to somebody. It's like he's reading off of a piece of paper. It just sounds incredibly practiced. You notice how passive he described him shooting at them? How passive he described him hitting her in the head? He didn't even explain that he batoned her in the head until the cop asked where he swung the baton at and whether or not that was intentional or not. I don't want people to feel like if they talk in a similar style that that's wrong or weird. It's the way that it's clearly very rehearsed. And it's not rehearsed in the sense that that's just how he talks. It's clearly rehearsed in the sense that like he's talking that way because he knows that he did something and he's trying to not get caught.
I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see much because black on black on black. And she dives for the floor.
She's on the other side of the vehicle from you,
yes,
right?
Also, most people don't really recall a crime that happened to them very well at all. It's actually a main reason eyewitness testimonies are very, very little used in terms of like actual validity, because nobody remembers shit like very scary moments to them. Not well at all. Historically, not well at all. I can't remember how much long ago. We watched one where this woman was brought in from a cold case about somebody like years ago. I can't remember the exact case, but basically she got called in about a cold case because her husband or something was involved, or she was, and I can't remember, but they were asking her what she was doing that day, and it was like literally 2 years ago, and she was explaining it in excruciating detail, like the entire day. She was explaining the entire day fully. And then the second they asked her anything pertinent to that crime, she forgot all of it. She knew nothing about it that day, except everything else that day she knew about, except that. That's what I mean. It's like the clear omission of like important details while having this like professional, clearly like you thought about this and decided what to say in your head, and that's how you're talking. That makes sense.
I'm right here.
You say she dives in there to explain what was she, how
She opens the door, dives for something. I don't know what at this point. I assume the gun. I take aim because I had informed them numerous times that they're not to enter the vehicle because I was worried that that was where the gun was, because they clearly didn't have it on them, because if so, they would have utilized it, I assume. And so I shot through the window. I make my way around the back of the vehicle this way, and the lady with the face tattoo is also diving for the same thing. So again, I shoot.
Are they both in the vehicle right now, like
No,
trying to get something?
They are right here, kind of on, like, you know, just outside of the vehicle. The lady with the yellow hoodie again reached for something in the vehicle, and to stop her from grabbing what I assume is the gun, I shoot again. And at this point I realize my gun is empty and that I'm defenseless because they had said earlier, in fact, whenever they're trying to grab my phone, don't try anything dumb because we have other people on the way. And so at this point I'm afraid.
You see what I mean? Now all of a sudden he's adding this in there.
That I'm going to be getting attacked by more people. And so I enter my vehicle, I put it in drive, and I drive away just to get into a more populated area so I'm somewhat more safe. And as soon as I drive around this way, as soon as I get about right here, I ask my car to call 911.
What Aaron doesn't know is that Allison died at the scene from her gunshot wound. The other female, Jennifer Broxton,
they said they were both
survived,
hospitalized.
and she was able to provide the police with her version of the story while she was at the hospital.
We met, me and that boy met online.
Oh.
When he slid up on a story that I shared about Trump. I screenshotted somebody else's post about Donald Trump coming to Pensacola, and they were bashing him. And I screenshot it and reposted it and put the laughing emojis. And he slid up and was like going off and saying, like, you people are a good reason to use our guns. And then after that, like a day later, a person added me and texted me, and I didn't know it was him on a fake account. And he basically just...
Where were you meeting? What site were you guys on?
Snapchat.
Snapchat?
Yes, sir. And he texted me off of a different account. And I didn't know it was him until we got in the car with him. I told my friend Allison, I was like, this is that boy who was arguing with me and saying that he would kill me because of the thing about Donald Trump. And she was like, she took it as a joke. She was like laughing about it because she's a very jokeful person. And she was laughing and she was like, it's okay if he tries anything. We know how to fight. We'll just beat him up and take his stuff. Like, basically said, we'll just beat him up and just rob him. And then she started laughing. She said it as a joke. And he started freaking out. And we went down to the water, and he was just acting weird and like talking to himself under his breath. And then we got in the car, and that's when I told Allie. I whispered to her, I was like, that's the boy who was I just realized that's the boy who was arguing with me about Trump and said he would kill me. And she said it out loud, like jokingly.
What'd she say?
She was like, oh, it's not a problem. We know how to fight. We'll just beat him up. We'll just jump him and take his stuff. And she started laughing. And then she was like, just kidding. And that's when he like got crazy. And like he got out the car and put his hands like on his head and was spinning around in circles and saying stuff under his breath. And then he came in his car. Allie was scared, so she jumped up front, and she was like, and she locked the doors. She was gonna call somebody. And then we got out, and we're gonna go walking down the street because nobody would come pick us up. We didn't know he had a gun, and he was beating us with it, and I was hitting him.
What were you hitting him with?
I was hitting him with a hammer, and I was tasing him. Whenever me and Allison go out with people that we don't know, we always bring our tasers and our pepper spray. And so I was tasing him, and I was hitting him. And before he started strangling Allie, he was hitting me with his fists.
Where'd the hammer come from?
It was her dad's. She was like, bring this in case something happens, because we don't have any like weapons or anything. And the tasers that we have are like weak tasers. And she was like, bring this. And I was like, okay. And then he started beating us with the police thing and strangling Allie. And I managed to pull the police thing out of his hand, and I threw it in the water. And that's when he grabbed the gun. He was like, walk to the road. And Allie was like, I need my shoes. They're in your car. And he was like, no, walk to the road. I'm finna shoot you. And she opened his car door, the back door, to grab it, her shoes, and her taser.
Yeah,
so he
for
could
shoes.
go. And he shot her through the glass in the back of his car. And then he shot me. He shot me again. And he shot at me again. And again. And then he pulled off. And he shot 2 more shots while he was driving away, but it missed us.
Jennifer's story was different than what Aaron had told the police. They could not find a second gun
Yeah, just a
anywhere at the
little.
crime scene, which meant that the women either never had one or they were able to get rid of it somehow. At this point, they want to make sure that what Aaron did falls under Florida's stand your ground law. In Florida, a person can use deadly force to prevent death or great bodily harm, or to prevent the commission of a forcible felony, like robbery or carjacking. The
Yup.
victim has no obligation to retreat, even if running away is an option. If the 2 females were really attempting to rob Aaron and he believed that they had a gun, his actions would be considered self-defense.
So taking you back to the scene, back where all
Yes,
this
sir.
stuff is going on, you shot twice?
We've talked about that before
I
too, like the statue
shot
of
a total of 7
like
times.
those like castle laws and stuff like
I
that.
Shot, I believe, once here, 3 times here.
It's also interesting because I did think that was mostly for your own property. They were trying to protect him. Who? It's not up to the police to decide the stand your ground laws. I mean, they're not like going for that, trying to find it for sure. They just need to know that in order to like properly book him.
Your first shot was
Hold on,
into the...
so your dad keeps the gun loaded, like the magazine is full?
Magazine is full,
Okay.
but unchambered.
And you emptied it? Okay. Where were the girls? Were they inside the back of the car when you
They
first shot
were
at
on
them
it.
or shot at them?
The girl with the yellow hoodie was half in, half out. Her
Okay.
lower half was outside of the vehicle, upper half was inside.
And then the girl with the face tattoo?
She was standing just behind the threshold to the car.
And what was she
More
doing?
towards the trunk.
said she was diving over, but
Whenever I started moving towards around the vehicle to get a better grasp on it and control on the situation, she dived inside the vehicle again, reaching for what I assume is the gun, and so I shot 3 or 4 times at her.
did you ever see the gun that they were trying to get to?
No, but they stated that they had the gun numerous times, and they kept saying, "Get the gun, get the gun, get the gun." So I assume that is what they were reaching for in the back.
Earlier you said that they said something, how, that they had a Glock 17, that they said that, how did that come out, that they had a Glock 17?
That they were trying to tell me not to do anything stupid whenever, not to try and fight back or do anything whenever they were taking the car. Whenever they were telling me to step out of the car and look, we have a gun, we have a Glock 17, is exactly what they said. Under her sweatshirt, do not try anything stupid, we will not hesitate to shoot you. So that is how that originally came up, and then they stated numerous times throughout the entire interaction to grab said gun.
And you covered your eyes, and you said that that she was yelling to pepper spray you. Did she pepper spray you at all?
Yeah, I believe so. Forehead and hands were burning the entire time I was in the squad car, so that's what I assume it was. I didn't do anything other than get tased and pepper sprayed.
I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm gonna get a search warrant to look at the Snapchat, yours and hers together, and try to see what y'all's in conversation. That's why I want you the opportunity. What did y'all talk about? Even if you think it sounds bad, what did y'all talk about to me?
Okay. She said she was turning 18 soon. I didn't know how soon. So she said, "Hey, look, it's Florida law."
I'm gonna see it anyway. I just want to hear it.
Yep. So originally, I was like, she
Yeah, remember like 10 minutes ago when he said he didn't know their age?
posted something about Pensacola boys. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not from Pensacola, but what's up?" And she's like, "Oh, hi." And I'm like, "What do you look like exactly again?" Then she sent me a picture of her face tattoo. She looked older, and she said that she was 17, truthfully. And she said that
This dude.
the law is 4 years apart, really. That's, to my knowledge, the actual law.
And how old are you?
18. So
I'm just assuming he's lying about everything at this point.
we talked about tattoos. I said, I think that it'd be funny if I got one around my private parts. She said, I think it'd look good. I'm like, you want to see in order to get an opinion on what do you think would actually look good around there? And she was like, yeah, sure. And so she got it. She was like, oh, wow, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to hang out? Yeah, sure. So truthfully, that's what I thought was going to happen. If it wasn't happening, I wasn't going to press. I was going to actually actively pursue it if she came on to me.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what women say when they
So
get
we've been
dick
doing
pics.
this a long time, man. This is all we deal with. So
Yes, sir.
you talking to us about anything sexual is not going to offend us. It's not going to surprise us. So you don't have to hold back.
I'm just ashamed, truthfully.
You're 18 years old, man. That's normal.
Tomato
You let
indeed.
one hook up and was going after another hookup. So is that what you guys were going over there? At least you thought you was going over there to hook up?
I honestly didn't think they were going to hook up at that time, though. Truthfully, 100%.
Sneak crime
Did you have
happened
anything in your mind that you thought was going to go on when you drove over there?
Nope. Especially since she said that we weren't going to be at anybody's house. It was just going to be in public and not exactly my forte.
Well, that's hardly public, especially at around midnight or later.
whenever I made contact with you at the Waffle House, the first thing you said out of your mouth was, "Can you take me back to the scene? I can show you around." You still down for that?
Yeah.
You still got that much in your gas tank? Because I think that'll be
Red flag. Absolute red flag.
it'll help us see a little bit different than on this piece of paper.
For sure.
Okay.
This is a trap by the police, by the way. So getting him to go back and walk around the crime scene and spout more lies is perfect for the police because they can just give that to the prosecution and be like, look how much more he lied. Look how badly he's lying. He's walking around. He went to the crime scene and walked around and said more crime. Like he just lied more. They're catching him in a lie now.
Detectives would take Aaron back to the crime scene and he would go through everything one more time. His story did not change from when he told it back in the interrogation room, so the detectives decided to look deeper into Jennifer Broxton and her friend Allison. It turns out that just 11 days prior, both females had been a part of a similar incident where they set up a male in Pensacola by suggesting sexual activity. According to the police report, when the victim stopped to get gas, the two females stole his truck. Later that same night, the two females were involved in a hit and run with the truck they had just stolen. In the end, Aaron would not be charged in the death of Allison. However, Jennifer would be charged with murder because she was in the process of committing a felony when Allison was killed. Jennifer is currently sitting in jail awaiting trial.
You're right, the title does give it away. I didn't even think about that. It says Snapchat Gangster messes with the wrong guy. Damn, dude, we got played. It was her. She was the gangster. Damn, guys, we all look like shit. And you know what? Yeah, somebody already typed it. That whole video, this whole thing is confirmation bias, which is exactly my argument about other channels. Knowing the facts and then just making assumptions based on what they know is the truth, even though what I'm assuming, because once again, my confirmation bias kicked in. It's like he's saying things weird as if he's making up a story. Clearly, in some facet, he's not. We don't really know exactly what happened, but based on like the previous stuff that they were doing, like maybe he's right. Maybe he was telling the truth. We don't know. I was not expecting that. Happy to be wrong.